Hey, it's me, Althazar, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new masterpiece, Rothulk. Rothulk came into the game in M21. I actually only just pulled it from this past week's VIP opening, and Rothulk is a 20 mana 8/8 menace zombie. It has, when this creature enters the battlefield, your opponent loses X life. X is your black mana bonus. Then return the first two different zombie creatures that are not named Rothulk from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. So, if you've gotten lucky enough to pull Rothulk and you haven't figured out how to put it together into a deck, this video should hopefully help you out. Now, the zombies that I feel are the best to pair with Rothulk in the current standard are Underrealm Lich and God Eternal Ronus. So, Underrealm Lich is a zombie, and God Eternal Ronus is also a zombie. And they both have either an enter the battlefield effect or something that's going to throw more things in the graveyard. So Underrealm Lich reads, whenever you draw a card, destroy the top 3 cards of your library. So that means that if you get the Underrealm Lich down, it's going to help you get a whole bunch more things in your graveyard, so that ideally when Rothulk enters the battlefield, you can get a whole bunch more Liches and Ronuses onto the battlefield. And Ronos has one of the most powerful enter the battlefield effects in the game, with when it enters the battlefield, double the power of each other creature you control until end of turn. So in playing a Rothulk, you're going to get both an Underrealm Lich, and you're going to get a God Eternal Ronus back. Now, you are going to want other things to throw into your graveyard. So I happen to feel that black-green is the best combination for Rothulk, because it lets you throw in Ronos, but it also lets you throw in Gather the Pack. So Gather the Pack is going to make it so that you destroy the next 4 creatures in your library when you play it. Now, yes, it does fetch you a creature, potentially 2, but the real key is that it's going to throw 4 creatures into your graveyard. That means that when you play Rothulk, you can start getting them back for free. Now, obviously, if we're going to be throwing things in our graveyard, we're going to want other ways of getting them back for free. So that's where we have Tamiyo, Collector of Tales, whose -3 ability is to pick one of the first 4 different cards from first 4 cards in your graveyard and get it into your hand with full mana. And of course, Unbreakable Bond, which is going to return the first creature from your graveyard to the battlefield and give it lifelink. And finally, Finale of Eternity, which is going to make it so that you are going to return the first 3 creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. Now, it's also going to go ahead and serve as removal by giving your opponent's creatures up to -0, -12, which will ideally kill off your opponent's board. Now, to round out the deck, I'm running Song of Creation because it gives us card draw and mana, and it also is going to discard our hand at end of turn, which just gives us another reliable way of throwing creatures into the graveyard. Death Sprout to give us a little bit more removal, and Castle Locthwain. I chose Locthwain because as I'm running a green-black Planeswalker, I'm going to be running either Convert Green or Convert Black, and I wanted a little bit more card draw. So Locthwain here is going to give us card draw, and having that bonus card draw is going to be helpful with Underrealm Lich, because whenever we draw a card, we mill cards from our library. So this deck worked really well for me. I played it a lot. I actually wound up smashing Legacy Training Grounds with it. I went 4-0 with it, and really quickly. So it's a pretty cool deck. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gameplay. Rothulk in action time. So an Underrealm Lich in the starting hand is pretty good. That means that we can start dumping things in the graveyard pretty quickly, which we definitely want. We've got kind of an ideal gem layout. I kind of failed there and didn't take the 5 match of blue on the bottom, but that's okay. Having Tamiyo in the starting hand here is pretty good too, because this means that pretty much right out the gate, I get to start dumping even more things in the graveyard, and I could potentially bring things back too. So let's see what our opponent does. Nothing great yet. Gather the Pack is extra fantastic. Here I'm just taking a look at the cards in my graveyard, so I'm going to use my 3rd to check them out. There really isn't a whole lot that's very interesting. The Castle Locthwain could be pretty good, because that would give me some gem conversion and some extra card draw with the Lich. So I definitely want to go ahead and take that. There really wasn't anything else that I definitely needed out of that pool. And then taking the green into blue is going to let me use the Gather the Pack. Now we've definitely got 4 more creatures in the graveyard. So that means that we've got at least 6, which is ideal. We've got another Gather the Pack draw, which is great. So we're going to use Tamiyo's first. We're just going to dump a few more things in the graveyard, and we get to pick which card we want. So I've got between Finale of Eternity and Unbreakable Bond. I'm going to take the Finale just because that gets me 3 creatures, whereas Unbreakable Bond just gets me 1. And then here I've got the choice between the Landfall or a red and green. Red and green is going to give me more mana, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and take that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Golos. I'm going to use Gather the Pack, dumping 4 more creatures in my graveyard. That means we've got at least 10 creatures in the graveyard. So there's 20 creatures in the graveyard. We've got at least 10. So at this point, really all we need to do is start bringing our creatures back, and we win the game. Drawing a Rot Hulk there is great. So the thing behind this, right, is that every time we bring a Rot Hulk back, Rot Hulk is going to, or we just get a Rot Hulk in general, we're going to get both an Underrealm Lich now, and we're going to get a Ronas, which means that if we, oh man, another Gather the Pack. So if we can get ourselves even like just a few Rot Hulks, we're going to be able to see a whole bunch of Ronases enter the battlefield, which means that we could get a pretty crazy combo going. So I did want that green match, but if I took the green match, then I would have given my opponent way more than I would have wanted to have given them. So that's why I didn't take it there. And at this point, I'm just really hoping that Elspeth plays a creature, because if Elspeth plays a creature, then that's just automatic game over. So Elspeth getting Golos there is kind of a best case scenario, because now we can use our Finale of Eternity, and I really don't see a world in which our opponent is going to be able to do anything now that I can use Finale of Eternity. So I've got Song of Creation. That's going to make sure that I'm definitely going to be able to play another Rot Hulk from my hand. I might as well just throw that Song of Creation down and move the Rot Hulks up, because the more Rot Hulks that we can get off, the better. Getting off the Rot Hulks means that we get more Ronases. So we should actually be able to kill Elspeth this turn, I think. The power of Rot Hulk with these cards is just unbelievable. And don't sleep on Rot Hulk, because we're going to be getting a new Innistrad set about vampires, and that Innistrad set about zombies. So Rot Hulk could be really, really good when that comes to be too. So here you're going to see the Finale of Eternity take out Golos. We're going to get 3 creatures, one of which is a Rot Hulk, which means we get 2 more critters, which is really nice. And so the next one's a Rot Hulk, which is great because that means we get another 2. So we've gotten 6 creatures back from the Finale of Eternity there, and then we get, oh man, we got another Hulk. Okay, so this is definitely game over. So yeah, look at that. Look at how quickly this ramps. It's just so nasty, guys. So nasty. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.